Building the walls. In the previous session, we learned to lay the foundation. In this session, we will learn to build walls. At the end of this session, you will be able to mark the area to build walls. As per our plan, the wall will be built at a width of 10 centimeters, that is 5 centimeters from either side of the center line. The drainage pipe for the bathing area will be placed at a distance of 80 centimeters from the back wall. The front wall is to be raised to a height of 230 centimeters and the back wall is to be raised to a height of 200 centimeters. A gap of 40 centimeters by 20 centimeters has to be provided for the ventilator. Before we go into the procedure, first let's take a look at the tools and materials. The tools are trowel, straight edge, plumb bob, water level, hammer, chisel, mortar mixing pan, measuring tape, spirit level, broom, scaffolding setup. The materials are thread, cement mortar, 4-inch blocks, empty sacks, PVC pipe piece, right-angled ruler. Now let's see the procedure for building the wall. We will first reproduce the center lines on the foundation. For this, add a thin layer of cement mortar on the foundation for marking the lines. This is needed if the foundation was laid on the previous day. Now tie the string on the center line stakes about 2 centimeters above the foundation. Thus, we get 4 intersections. Make imprints of the string on the layer of cement mortar using trowel. Check if the corners of the outline we made are at right angles with the help of a right-angled scale as shown. Remove the strings and stakes. Now measure the distance between the central lines to check if the length is 190 centimeters and the breadth is 100 centimeters. We now have marked the central lines. Next, we will mark the lines for laying blocks. Measure and mark a distance of 5 centimeters on either sides of the 4 intersections of the central line with the help of a trowel. Using thread, connect the intersections. You have now marked the lines for the wall. We will now begin laying the blocks. First, add a layer of cement mortar on one side of the foundation. Place a block horizontally on one end of the foundation on the 5 centimeter mark that we made. Place another block vertically on the 5 centimeter mark on the other end. We could see the plan to decide the position for the placement of drainage pipe for the bath area. Measure and mark a distance of 80 centimeters from the edge of the vertically placed block as shown. This is the position for placement of the drainage pipe. You can also place the drainage pipe over the mark to see its placement and cover it with mortar. Now place the string along the edges to ensure the alignment of the blocks. Start placing the blocks along the string. You can also check the alignment of the blocks with the help of a straight edge. Now remove the bricks and the string that we had placed for alignment. The block on the P-trap gap should be equidistantly placed, otherwise there are chances of development of cracks. We will not be able to place one complete block in this space, so we could remove the block that we had earlier placed and place a broken block in its place. Now we can place a complete block in this space. Continue placing blocks on the other two sides as well. Pack the space between the blocks with cement mortar. Our first layer is ready. We will now lay blocks for the second layer. While placing blocks in the second layer, start with a half block as shown so that the top layer and the bottom layer do not follow the same pattern. Check the level of this block with that of the lower layer with a plumb bob. Now place another block on the other end. Here we could start with a full block. We should place blocks as shown. Also, ensure that the hollow part comes below while placing the blocks. Again, check the level of this block with the lower layer. Ensure the level of the blocks with the help of a straight edge. We will lay blocks up to 5 layers. When you begin with the third layer, check the water level of the blocks at both ends. You could also check the level with spirit level. We have now finished placing blocks for the fourth layer also. We will now begin with the fifth layer. We have now finished placing blocks for the fifth layer also and completed the block work for the day. Fill the gaps in between the blocks using a trowel as shown. Make marks on the surface of the wall to give it a rough finish. Similarly, fill the gaps between the blocks in the inside of the walls. Make marks on it as well. Remove the excess mortar lying around. We will fill the space in the outer side of the foundation with mud. Wet the mud with water. It is advisable to raise only 5 levels or up to 50% height on one day so that the structure is strong. If you raise more than this, the structure may collapse. On the next day, you may show the progress to the client. Now we will lay blocks for subsequent layers. First, wet the surface of the walls. Arrange sacks in the work area so that the mortar falling on it can be reused. Now erect a convenient platform so that you can work at a greater height. Ensure that the platform is stable by walking on it and checking the firmness of it. We will now start laying the blocks. Lay blocks till the height of the wall is 180 centimeters. Leave a gap of 40 centimeters by 20 centimeters in the back wall for the ventilator when laying the blocks. Now lay the blocks till the height of the wall is 200 centimeters. Using a water level, ensure both the edges of the back side are on the same level. If not, adjust as necessary. Elevate the front side to a height of 230 centimeters. Now, using a water level, check if both the edges are on the same level. If not, adjust as necessary. We now proceed to build the slope for the roof. For this, first tie a small piece of thread from the front to the back, connecting both the edges. Ensure that the thread is tight by placing supporting bricks. We need to fill the area of the slope. Now, start placing the blocks from the front to the back. Use appropriate sizes of blocks or bricks to fill the gap. Now, fill mortar between the blocks and smoothen the surface. Repeat the steps on the other side also. Collect the fallen mortar and use it to cover the various joints. Finally, fill the area in the inner side of the foundation with mud. Also, level the area. Our wall is now ready. With that, we have come to the end of this session. In this session, we have learned to measure and mark area for building wall. Leave provision for the drainage pipe for bath area. Build a wall leaving provision for a ventilator. In the next session, we will learn to plaster the outer walls of the toilet building.